in my film, Rock Rubber 45s, it's not just a greatest hits of my career. Like, there's a moment where I'm performing at a Nike event called Boing Bang Boogie, right? And they collected all these ball handlers and dunkers, and we were in front of a crowd like 2,000. Fat Joe is there, Angie Martinez is there, Kenya Martin is there, you know, as judges. And I go out and, you know, I'm trying to do my tricks and everything, and yo, I fell backwards on my butt. People were laughing at me, 2,000 in Cipriani's and you know, on 42nd Street. That was a knock, yo. That was a big knock. That was embarrassing. Because, I mean, people knew me as a ball player and people knew me as a trickster on the court. But people, you know, as a performer, it's a different space. And, you know, I could very well have been like, man, I don't want to get back out there. And, you know, A-Train from the Harlem Globetrotters was laughing at me. You know, for years, you know, he would be like, yo, remember that time you fell on your ass? And I was like, yeah, I remember. But, you know, I stuck with it. Eventually, I became a founding member of the Project Playground basketball group. And we wound up doing halftime shows for the Mavs, for the Knicks, Charlotte Hornets, University of Tennessee, women's, who was the champs, UConn, women's, who were the champs. You know, I performed in front of 25,000 people with a basketball in my hand doing tricks. Now, had I let that moment at the Boing Bang Boogie set me back, period, I would have never gotten to, I mean, I got paid to have a basketball in my hand for like a good 6-7 years doing tricks in the world's most famous arenas, you know, in front of NBA players looking at me coming out the halftime tunnel like, yo, that was dope, you know? So that's one piece. There's a lot of more, but I don't want to spoil the film. There's a lot more deeper ones and more hurtful ones, but I'll leave it with that one. That was light. The 3 keys, the 3 jewels that I speak about at all my engagements, you know, my appearances at the Latino Youth Conference or the New Life Community Center, whatever it is, and they're all in the film, Rock Rubber 45s. I made sure, like, that me and the editor, we infused the film with the jewels that I impart to the youth. One of them is no fear of failure. Number 2 is hard work. Number 3 is kindness reaps infinite dividends. I can't tell you how many opportunities I've had in my life. I'm not the best DJ. I'm not the best ball player. I'm not the most gifted sneaker customizer. But I've had incredible opportunities come my way because I've constantly been a fair, courteous, kind person. When Ray Diaz, the scout from Puerto Rico, you know, gave me the call to shoot out there to Arecibo to play for them, they saw me without even seeing tape. I mean, they signed me without even seeing tape. They just went on Ray's word that A, I was a good ball player, and B, there was a lot of drug problems in the Puerto Rico Pro League in the 80s, you know? I didn't drink, I didn't smoke. Ray knew, like, oh, he's good. He's not going to give you any problems. He also knew that I was going to, you know, Ray would see me at 6 a.m. in the park. Ray would see me at 8:30 in the park, you know? So he knew I was going to play hard and practice and all that stuff. I've got mad opportunity. I remember another instance was I used to play at Basketball City in the 2000s, right? And there was a cat named Dan Gladstone, you know, cool brother, you know, he had the Gill Zeros, the white orange. And I was like, yo, because not a lot of people had the Gill Zeros in New York. I was always complimenting Dan, like, yo, I like your sneakers. And, you know, I had a nice little jump shot. I feed him, you know, when we were on the same squad. I didn't know homeboy was a VP at the Knicks. Had no fucking idea. I was just cool with him, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what's up, B? And at the time, I had Bounce Magazine. I was the editor-in-chief and co-founder. And so in 2006, Dan reaches out to me. He's like, it finally reveals what he does. And he's like, yo, we're about to start a show called Summer Ball. I want you to come in and meet the VP of programming. They signed me to become the host of the network's first original program related to outdoor basketball in New York City. I didn't have to audition. I didn't have to compete with anybody. Boom, the position is yours. You're gonna host and be the creative producer. Now, if I was a dick to Dan, you think that would have happened? Nah, like I was kind to Dan and he saw that I worked hard and I had passion for the culture. And boom, I got the opportunity. I became the first Latino broadcaster in the next 60-year franchise history. You know what that meant to people? When I would go to El Barrio and I would go to Brooklyn, and old ladies, viejas, would come out the bodega like hugging me like, yo, I love your show. They'd be like, yo, I don't even like basketball, but I like your show. And I did Summer Ball for 3 years. It was actually the #1 rated original program on Madison Square Garden Network. That didn't make the film either. You know, you make a film, 90 minutes, you try to fit 50 years of your life in it, you can't do it. So the Madison Square Garden Network announcer did not make the film, but maybe that'll be in deleted scenes on the DVD. Look out for it.